We got a coughing caribou. Hey, what's up? Jesus. Look at those racks. This little bison is just, or not little, but good size guy, but he's just chilling out there like a painting. He's just standing still. No idea why. And these other ones are sitting there as well, just chilling out. Hungry. They sure take their time on eating. Seem to enjoy it. This guy's just still sitting here. Oh. And then we have a coffee caribou. Which one was that? Was that the one that just passed? No.
He was talking to me.
Oh. It's like a big mango. Reminds me of mango. Huh? Oh, yeah. Big caribou weenie. Kind of looks like ground meat. Hey. Looks like Ruth. Want some more grass. Next. Oh, before he disappears. Oh no. Alright, now he's gone. Oh well. You guys just pacing.
So just pacing back.
And these things are hideous. And this guy's like, hey, can I get out this way? How about over here? Oh my gosh. Let's see. Yeah, he's actually got a good dental plan, I guess. This one isn't all hideous. Alright. We'll go. Musk ox calves.
The babies.
Little babies all in a row.
Babies, 3 of them in there.
Yeah. Little tired one. Come on, focus camera. Come on. There we go.
The babies.
Just tired. Alright. Next. And this is one of our northern kitties. Look at him. Big cat. Tired too. Pretty relaxed. Yeah, just chilling. I like that chin hair though.
Such a pretty kitty.
Yeah. Very pretty. I guess. We'll see. Yep. Northern cat. Little kittens. Oh my gosh. You can adopt me.
Is there another one right here?
Look at that. You can adopt me.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my gosh. I think we should do it. And there's a bald eagle.
There's a friend of owl on here.
Ooh. The great horned owl. Yeah. Let's go see Mr. Baldy.
Ooh,
Like,
fucking shirt all wet.
It's like, I gotta clean myself. Oh man. I don't think he's domesticated. Not much anyways. I love that look. He just always looks pissed off. Like, my hair's all ruffled. Where is this guy?
Yeah.
It's probably in there, in that log. Maybe.
Hard for me to tell if it's all wet. Not only my feet wet.
Oh, okay. Well, this stuff is pretty shallow, so. Huh. Oh well, no idea. But that's what he looks like.
Gonna give you kisses.
It's like a dog.
Yeah.
Is it like tail here? Is it Sitka blacktail?
Huh?
It's Sitka, isn't it? Sitka blacktail?
No idea. Pretty though.
So sweet.
Alright. And this is the moose barn. Oh, this is where the calves. Guess they have moose calves? Red fox. Not in there? Oh, there's the kennel. Nope, it's not in there. There's another side of it. Or, yeah, I think it. No. Oh my god. Look at this guy, holy crap. That's a big boy. Oh man, look at the rack on this thing. Look at the size of this guy. Where is it?
I don't know. I really want to see the fox.
Yeah. Well, that's what we came here for.
Hey, Lucy. Got pretty ears.
Yeah. Well, there's no way to really get around and, you know, see if he's probably beaten by the door. He or she or whatever.
You think so?
Probably back there. There we go. Well, we'll probably get back here on the behind the scenes. I can't see anything because of the angle of the fence. Oh well. We'll be back there probably.
Hope so.
But we're gonna be walking around a good bit. I like how they use these old car wash scrubbers for the ox to scratch against. So funny. Alright. And there's elk. You know, elk. Just elk. Not really that big of a deal. Being from Washington. We know it. We know elk. They're cute, but, you know, they're elk. Okay. Moosin'. Jesus, look at the size of that head. A big head. And those ears. Yeah, those ears. Just want to scratch them. I want to pet a moose. You guys are so awesome coming into my yard. Pretty cool. Moose feeding.
Essentially in a perpetual crowd.
Pretty much domestic.
Also developed frostbite, lost the tip of her ears, as well as some toes on her back feet as a result of not being able to stay warm. And because of those physical handicaps, she can't be released to the wild. Luckily, Fish and Dave kind of caught wind of the situation last year and confiscated her and brought her here to us for a permanent home. With her, she's definitely not as used to people. You can't really blame her given her background. So we're not asking her to do some of these more advanced behaviors yet, like I wasn't being tied and spending captivity since she was little and very used to people. With her, really all that we ask is that she come down to us and eat in our presence, just so she can kind of learn, hey, we're not bad, we're not here to hurt you, anything like that. But the Lynx is the only wild cat native to Alaska. They're found throughout mainland Alaska. Basically, wherever you find snowshoe hares, you can find lynx. Out in the wild, these guys subsist almost entirely on snowshoe hares. A real interesting case of kind of boom and bust population cycles, because the hare population in a given area will start out very low, begin to grow exponentially, and as the population of the hares are growing, the population of the predators that feast on the hares red foxes, great horned owls, especially the lynx, are growing exponentially as well. After about 7 to 12 years, kind of unabated growth, the willows that the hares themselves feed on will become overbrowsed. Instead of allocating resources to additional leafy growth, they'll begin to produce toxins in their tissue. Hares eat these plants, aren't getting adequate nutrition, get sickly.
Oh my gosh, that's cute.
Where's the black bear?
Kind of crazy
They're on
that
this
here.
side. We'll have to walk further to see them. But we're gonna watch these guys. They have a little
Look at all this waste food, remnants.
She is our lone grizzly bear. She's the one that's laying down there in the vegetables right now. And it looks like Joe Boxer, our male coastal brown bear, is the one that's moving along through that back bush line. Will probably poke his head out here in the next minute or so. So again, this is a unique partnership that we've had developed over the
What's up?
number of years with the state fair, where they donate all the prize-winning vegetables. After a certain size, a lot of the vegetables tend to lose a lot of the taste that people typically look for. However, they'll still have a lot of the good nutrients, and they'll have that same nutritional value. So it makes for a great treat and reward for a lot of the wildlife down here. The bears obviously get quite a bit of those vegetables. We also feed them out with our elk and the bison herds. And then some of the smaller game will get some of the select vegetables as well.
Oh gosh.
Of which grizzly bears are the
This
smallest.
guy. Hey, you hungry still?
Slightly larger, and then the
Look,
Kodiaks
yep.
are actually the biggest of the three.
A little yawn.
As opposed to popular belief, our grizzly bears significantly smaller, but they tend to be more docile in nature than a lot of your coastal brown bears or Kodiaks. And our third is elk brown bear, Joe Boxer, is the one that's just popped out of the back bush line there. This time of year, JB will start to get close to about 1,000 pounds.
Like a big dog.
It's about 1,100. These guys won't truly hibernate. They'll do something close to hibernation, but it won't be that
Checking
same.
out them scraps. Ooh, pooping bear. Dropping a pile, just like a dog. And he's gonna eat a little more. Too. Checking out, looking for them fresh veg. Oh, there's a dead fish, like a rotting fish right there. No, that's a bone. Looks like a fish. Hey, can you wave?
I'm not like the bears are not sipping on this game for
Oh, that was so cool. The game form.
the game farm's pretty cool.
Like,
They're so perfect.
man, that guy's constipated or something. Oh man, look at that log. Toss me down a child. Brushing up against each other. Jesus. Look at that foot. Look at that foot. My God.
they tend to be in the tropical food chain, and some of our East Coast states
Alright,
still have
that's enough for us. Just chilling out. Showing off his foot. Bear's about to get fed. Alright.
bears that go boxing.
We got a bunch of the State Fair vegetables. Look at that butt. Working his fat ass. We got a clinger. Oh, here they come. Look at all those veggies. Oh my.
That's a quick little dash to get back in. Did you push the gate? Because that's what they do with it. They give it to the man.
Thank for falling.
I see who has it for
Record size vegetables. Rhubarb for cooking.
it.
汁が野菜の汁がポッタポタ。Oh my god. Look at all that drool.
little thing. That's a big cabbage. Jesus, you look like you're looking under a log. Reaching. Jesus.
This is
You see him, girl? Like veggies. Jesus.
Can't believe how big the vegetables are.
Looks like the one that's just eating now. That one that's eating like that. The one over there looks like the mother. And the one that's eating
He's going to grab something out of the bucket.
That one's actually eating greens.
Oh, finally. Someone's eating the vegetables.
And I think that's the baby bear. I think these are the two parents from
Yeah, I'm better without the news here.
See an agency that'll want to step in to put kind of an umbrella status for an entire state, because it's really not meant to be that way. In certain areas of the state, again, we've got really healthy wolf populations. In certain areas of the state, the wolf population's been in pretty extreme decline. So to have one umbrella policy for the entire states.
And what kind of wolves are here again? Are they arctic wolves, tundra wolves?
We've got both. We've got kind of an arctic wolf and we've got kind of a tundra wolf, or like a gray tundra wolf, almost, if you will.
So, what's the deal with the wood?
So one of the things that they'll do, once their velvet stops pumping with the blood and the nutrients and it starts to dry out, it presents the males with an incredibly itchy sensation. That's when they'll start to strip their velvet and take it off.
And so, I'm guessing that's when you see them tearing branches off of trees and stuff.
They'll continue to kind of jostle around with wood, stick piles, brush, vegetation. They also spar with one another quite a bit during this phase. And then in the next couple of months, you'll actually see them start to go through their actual bouts where the males will establish dominance.
And then you'll see the one that has one antler.
Right.
Really ripped.
With this guy down here, he actually has already dropped one of his antlers. Normally they'll drop their antlers 2 or 3 days apart from one another.
I know we saw one. I don't know where we were. Was it in Canada or whatever? Or
Like just before I crossed into Alaska, there was an elk, and I was like, no.
well, there was an elk, but I believe we saw like that was in Washington, the little containment area. They had the reindeer, I think, where it was shedding the antlers?
Probably, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I just remember having the elk come right up to our car and then went to the Olympic National Park.
Yeah. Yeah, and so why do they do that anyways?
Like the bugler, a lot of it will just be territorial.
Just letting them know that, hey, my pack is here.
Herd.
Or it'd be a male's way of...
But isn't that a way of attracting predators as well?
It could potentially be. Or quite oftentimes will...
Kind of like the don't shoot twice in Indian country kind of thing?
Something like that.
Seem to be pretty happy here. Do you have a problem with domestication sometimes?
All parts of the state and of the country that people hadn't been to in decades, and in some cases, who knows how long. So in 1957, 2 wildlife biologists were flying over remote parts of Canada. I don't know if they were doing moose surveys or caribou surveys or what, but they came upon this small isolated herd of bison and thought, what if? Turned out those were the last 23 genetically pure wood bison in the world. So in 1957 they were taken off of the extinction list. The Canadian government shortly thereafter started the Wood Bison Recovery Project.
Now you see them all over the side of the road on the Yukon.
So they've been growing and building their numbers for about the last 40 years. Up until this spring, we were the only herd of wood bison in the entire United States. And then we started releasing wood bison this spring. We've been involved in the project physically for 12 years with wood bison here. We had been involved a few years prior to that. Fish and Game started the project in the mid-90s with a variety of habitat surveys, dietary studies on what the land was with recently. But at any one point in time, we'll have at least 7 wood bison exhibits here on campus. And we will very rarely ever utilize more than 3 at a time. That way there's always fresh grazing grounds for them to be led to, so we can keep that part of their mentality very active, that there's fresh grazing grounds that they can go to, so they can naturally roam to graze just like they would in the wild.
So they just like grass and stuff like that. So what's with the wood here? Is this like...
This is actually how they get their name, the woods bison. So they really like these wooded areas where there's low-lying brush and vegetation like alder bushes and things like that. They tend to be kind of rough on them because of their size, but that's the kind of habitat that they really prefer in the wild. They're a close relative to the plains bison that are in the lower 48 states.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the big distinctions. Obviously, plains bison prefer the plains. Woods bison prefer some of the vegetation, like even this kind of stuff would be like perfect out in the habitat. So they like the big
bushes, grass.
Bushes, yeah.
So what is the moose diet mostly? Because I've seen them chewing on little baby like alders, birch trees. So why are they attracted to those instead of just straight up grass?
A lot of the nutrients that they can find in the vegetation.
The syrup the oils from the birch tree, like.
They wouldn't actually go far enough into a tree to get a lot of the sweet stuff out of it, but a lot of the nutrients that they can get in the fresh vegetation, a lot of the leaves. They can strip bark in the off season to get some of those same nutrients out. But their diet's pretty much wood and leaves. It's honestly to a point where if you were in a really dire situation out hiking or camping and you needed to start a fire,
yeah, birch.
Moose poop is an awesome fire starter because it's essentially like a little ball of sawdust.
Yeah, and also birch bark because of all the oils in it. That's why I was like, I don't know, is that like, because I know that you do a lot of birch syrup here.
Sure.
So, what was it? So you let these animals out at night.
Yep.
So what keeps them from trying to escape from? So it's just the bison you let out, or?
Every once in a while we will let the elk out as well. But as you tour around, you'll notice gates to specific sections of our campus. So yeah, a lot of nights. Now with the breeding program, we're not doing it as frequently as we would during the majority of the summer season.
During a lot of the summer, we let out our bison probably 5 nights a week. That way they always have to seek out the fresh grazing grasses. That way, in the event that they're released, instinctually they understand they need to seek out the fresh sprung grass. The last decade or so, we've discovered that animals that naturally roam to graze, if they're kept in a captive or confined space, they can actually strip the grass up to 95% of the nutrients. If they're feeding off that same parcel day after day and week after week, the grass isn't growing back with a lot of the good nutrients, it's just kind of recycling itself.
Yeah.
So we'll actually need to till out every spring, make sure we're planting down fresh grass seeds so we can ensure there's fresh grass growing up that year. And then again, the grazing animals will rotate exhibits so that there's always fresh grazing grounds for them to go to.
Okay, so what is up with all these signs, Adopt Me? Is that like one of those things where people contribute money every month?
Yep.
Or okay.
Because
I was thinking, oh, I'll take the Lynx home.
Right. Yeah, we've got everything from like adoption programs, membership programs, ways for people to stay involved with the animals. They
Contribute a little bit.
sure.
Distinct contribution.
And I was going to point this out as kind of an interesting one, especially if anybody has any kind of an agricultural background. This is essentially the largest cattle squeeze chute that's ever been built in the world, but it's been built to scale so that it can accommodate wood bison, which are the largest land animals in the Western Hemisphere.
This is the biggest?
Yep. There is one in Western Canada that is the same size, but the squeeze chutes, the individual locking sections of this are what are going to be the biggest. So if you're curious how we track all of our bison, prior to release, every single member of our herd has been put through this handling facility. We normally do it once a year. This last year with the release we did it a few times. Some of our dominant bulls are honestly so big that we can't get them through here. We'll have to test them on the field, so we'll have to sedate them, treat them out there. But we'll get them inside this big wooden corral. They'll start to run themselves around in a circle, and then we'll open the exterior gates. So as they're running around in a circle, they'll kind of lose sight of what part of the circle they're in. They'll open the exterior gates, and they'll start to funnel themselves into these locking and squeeze chutes. All these green squeeze chutes, we call them squeeze chutes because they're on a swing, so you can actually lock an animal in by squeezing them in. That way we can ensure that they're not turning themselves around or anything like that. So the gates actually accordion, you can squeeze an animal in. This one's a little bit special and unique because it's got all kinds of technology underneath, so it'll take digital readings of weights, temperatures, all kinds of stuff like that. And then this one's run on a hydraulic lift. So all of these side windows can drop down once the animal's been locked into place.
And then you can just slam it shut.
So you can take blood samples. We can run pregnancy assessments on the females. At the end, that's where we'll fit them for their collars and things like that. Every bison that we released had been collared. We ended up doing about 25% satellite collars, about 75% radio collars.
So, how many have you released in the last year or two?
130. And those are the first 130 that we've moved.
What's the mating success rate?
Normally we're hoping for about 20% growth on any given year. There could be potential in the future for that to drop down to about 15% in the next 20 to 50 years. But for the first 20 to 25 years, we expect it to be upwards of about 20% growth.
Before I interrupted you, you were saying about how many you released, and then.
So it was a very interesting release project. The first 100 that we located into the wild, we flew out there. So we had been fabricating these Connex trailers so that they could have animals housed inside of them, but also we had fabricated the outsides of them so that any two of them could fit together like in an enormous puzzle piece, if you will, and then any two of these containers could fit inside the belly of a C-130 Hercules military-grade airplane.
So you get assistance from the military as well?
We did not actually. So we utilized the C-130 Hercules aircraft, but Linden Air Cargo did the flying. We were hoping that we would have been able to do something with the Air National Guard, but at the end it didn't end up working out, and we ended up using just the air supply or Linden.
Well, at least you're getting help with that, you know.
It was
Instead of having to drive it,
right.
four-wheel it out there.
The dominant males were so big that we ended up trucking them from our facility here about 500 miles north up to Nenana, and then they floated to the site of release down a series of barges. That was a pretty interesting project as well.
So what, as far as like the moose and the elk, like, I'm guessing you guys have a specific amount of specific diet, and I guess you give them vet care and stuff?
Yep.
Okay, so do they get like vaccinations to prevent certain disease before they're released?
A lot of that is kind of up in the air, and it's Fish and Game's call, and a lot of it can depend on areas of the state that they're being released.
Politics and stuff.
Yeah, and what their success rates have been. And again, they'll do wild surveys over the course of the summer, and they'll establish if there's, you know, a need to be building any populations, or if there's any populations that won't require that kind of attention or those kinds of resources. And as a nonprofit facility, we pick and choose our projects very carefully, because obviously financially we don't have unlimited resources.
Yeah. So, are there any like diseases that moose or caribou have that have been kind of screwing with their population, or?
Not to the best of my knowledge. I know with wood bison, the only ones that we have in the wild are the ones that we've just released, so there haven't been any issues with those. But I know in Canada, wild wood bison populations have had pretty hard times with brucellosis. They also had problems recently in several areas of Canada with anthrax.
What?
Yeah.
What, people are giving them flour and had a little anthrax in it or something?
Yeah,
Jesus.
They but those are more specific to Canadian wood bison. We haven't really seen any of those issues here.
Is it a?
We really don't hear. It kind of comes and goes at the state level. A couple years ago, they had really incredible numbers of wild fox populations that were becoming just incredibly infected with rabies.
Yeah.
Oh god.
We've never really dealt with any of those problems here in captivity, but at the state level, again, in the last 5 years, it's been under better control, but at one point in time it was kind of this huge extreme, almost outbreak of a thing that we were seeing happen in the wild.
Yeah, I heard that a lot of people have been bringing pigs up with them from the moratorium when they move up.
Sure.
Actually,
Will be carriers.
well, yeah, it's crazy because that actually ended up being a problem where I live. And I live in the suburbs where there were no breeding grounds for pigs.
Yeah.
They started showing up.
Well, what's up with the wolf pups? Why do you guys have wolf pups?
So our wolf pup was acquired almost exclusively for our education programs. There won't be an opportunity for release with her. We started offering educational programs in 2010, and the only education animal that we have is a failed domesticated porcupine that Fish and Game brought in. And
Our dog had to run in when one of those, like, pretty much right when we moved here. He got a little bit in the paw, and I was like, oh, thank God, just the paw.
right.
Come here, man.
And that one porcupine he sees easily 3,500 local school students every year. So when there was an opportunity to...
So you can pet him?
Our handlers can. With enough work.
So are we going to be able to be here for the fox get some training, or?
I'm hoping so, if they've got anything going on this afternoon again.
See the baby deer?
Yeah, you'll see the baby deer in the back. So these are our Sitka black-tailed deer. Black-tailed deer are actually the second smallest member of the deer family in North America. All three of those newborns were born in June. We do have 2 adult males. You'll get a chance to see them in just a little while here. Your dominant male black-tailed deer will very rarely ever exceed 150 pounds. And to find a female in the ballpark of 80 to 100,000 is usually considered quite extreme.
Okay, save battery.
Kind of like
I've seen better.
the little brothers, yeah, after watching like a big UFC match or something.
Like, no more playtime. Might as well.
That's kind of funny. I've actually never seen a black-tailed deer spar. First for everything. Unfortunately, Adonis was the victim of a shooting. That shooting required a full left wing amputation. And he's actually one of the only bald eagles living anywhere in the world with an amputation. The government actually no longer sponsors amputations for bald eagles now that their population has come back up to such a healthy point. And again, you'll see where that plumage of feathers is on the side of his body. That's where that left wing originally was.
So how long?
They provide him quite a variety of opportunities. One of the secondary usages of their wings is going to be body temperature control. Essentially, they can air themselves out or wrap themselves up if they need to, and he's only got half of that ability. So even though this is a smaller exhibit, he's got every opportunity to get into or out of the wind.
So where's the wind mostly come from? Into the
where our facility is located, we get wind from all directions. We've got the Portage Valley directly behind us, Long Valley, and the Nebraska Valley, and the fourth sides are turning it up to the ocean, so we can get it in just about any direction. And this is actually our most recent addition. This is Kit Kat. And Kit Kat was unfortunately a hind right leg amputee. He was actually found
I can see that.
in a hunter's snare, and he was so tightly wound up that
Just
again,
killed the leg.
A full hind right leg amputation.
Oh, you dropped it.
With porcupines, they're actually a pretty unique species. They are arboreal. They'll spend about 70% of their lives in trees. However, they're not the best adapted climbers. About 1 in every 3 wild porcupine will have 1, if not multiple, fractures on their bodies because they so regularly fall out of trees.
Oh wow.
As adults, they can easily have an excess of 30,000 quills on their body at any point in time. They are hollow, so they're unbelievably buoyant. They do really well in water, but they don't particularly care for water. Again, just a peculiar animal.
Are they like a descendant of a beaver or something?
They are a close relative to the beaver. You'll actually see that he's got so much strength in his tail that he'll almost utilize that tail as his fourth leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, to counterbalance it,
Yeah.
because he doesn't have to run and jump and stuff.
Exactly.
Yeah. So you've never had an issue with him trying to jump and climb these fences?
That's where we've got the full metal on the gates here. He can climb, but he won't be able to get over this metal sheet that's inside here, just the same as a tree. He'd be able to climb that tree up to that metal wrap.
Aren't they kind of like a skunk in the sense where if they're under pressure, they'll emit a pneumonia?
Yeah, they can. They've got a really musky
that's
odor,
so
and
cute.
their eyesight's really poor, and it tends to be that odor that will attract them to one another in the wild.
Like, give me some more. So the quills hide as almost like a second coat?
They are the interior most layer of hair that they have. So with Kit, those really long hairs, those are going to be his guard hairs. He'll have those year-round. Those will essentially work as his rain jacket. He's starting to now build back up more of a winter jacket, if you will, that grayish tan coat. And then underneath that grayish tan coat, you'll find the quills underneath there. It might be easier to see in the lower of his back if he turns around.
Are those white, grayish hairs supposed to be like camouflage, or?
They can function in that way. More so than anything, they'll really function as a rain jacket just to help keep moisture off of their body. Rain throughout a lot of the summer, spring, and fall, and then snow as well in the winter. You can see they've got very orange teeth. They've got an extreme excess of iron in their body.
Yeah.
The older they are, the redder their teeth tend to be, and it's usually a sign of good health.
Moose! Moosin'! Come on. Before the annoying people show up. Come on. Moosey! Moosey! Oh, come on. No love. Hey, buddy. Look at that nose.
Oh, Linda, come here.
Hey. How you doing? Look at that eye.
There's a bigger one.
Look at those eyes. A little bit of blood on there. Hey. How you doing? How you doing? Ooh. Hey. Big cow. This is the wood bison project. They have a hide here. One of their bigger bison. It's really soft, almost like unwashed hair. Really thick over here, in the shoulder area, and then over here it gets really soft. And then you have the tail fur right here, almost like really thin hair.
Teddy's 4 years old.
And this is one of the musk ox that actually killed itself by smacking its head against another one. Fractured right down in here. You can see that. It's just so messed up. They tried to fill it with epoxy because it keeps cracking. Killed itself pretty much, and smacking it so hard. And the bone just kind of gave out. This is the skeleton of it. It was in captivity here for a while. You can just see in there how crazy that is. All that stuff, and then into the mouth.
Each year as the moose gets older, his antlers get bigger and larger. Now he's going to lose those antlers by about mid to late February.
Alright, soon enough we'll have a fox meeting.
And
Hey, buddy. I think you heard the vehicle. There it is. He looks soft. Hey, buddy. It's like tired.
He's tired from his nap.
Yep. And naps can wear you out.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Mr. Foxen.
Yeah, he was Mr. Fox. Fantastic Mr. Fox.
That long ass nose. Little paws. Well trimmed claws. They look like they were recently trimmed. Those eyes. Hey, Kristen. Check this video out. You got a pretty good zoom on him.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch out my lens. Should have kept the other one on.
Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Are you gonna start talking yet?
We'll probably talk to him about it.
Yeah. Arroo! Speak! You gonna speak? Are you gonna speak? Or?
I don't talk like that, remember?
What's the command for speak? Those ears. Oh, they look clean enough, I guess. Like, ooh, there's somebody. Right? What's that noise? Yeah.
He is so pretty.
Yeah. Very pretty coat. Those pretty eyes. Hey, buddy. Where you going?
He's talking about his sister.
He's like, oh, no.
What's that?
Look at that tail. Oh,
Oh.
he's coming with the. He says I'm gonna get fed soon.
He's like, oh my gosh, look at that. Look at those ears. Jesus. Where's he going?
So happy. See this airplane there? It's like, look at those.
That waggy butt. He's like, oh, I'm ready for the pizza.
Well, he's got a pizza box here full of some little goldfish snacks and some walnuts. So I'm gonna let it go and pay for it
Hey, you can't say anything.
Little talker. I want it back.
Just hold it high.
right there for you, buddy. But again, this is Jade. He's 2 years old. He's been with us since he was a little kid. He was found by some folks who were jogging along a trail in acreage. They saw him as a kid without any parents nearby, and they assumed that he was an orphan, so they just kind of picked him up and brought him here to us. It wasn't really the right thing to do. They were worried that he was an orphan. They probably should have contacted the Alaska Department of Fish and Game. They could have sent personnel out to kind of assess the situation, determine the best course of action. But since the route was so young, he's very used to people. We're unable to release him back out into the wild. Well, you just figured out how to open that box right up.
Yeah,
Gave him a small
focus.
pizza box with some little goldfish crackers and some walnuts in there. It's not part of his diet, just have a little snack for him. We like to provide our animals out here with enrichment every day, whether that's a novel object or a novel scent or kind of a training routine or what have you. Today for Jade is an object pizza box that you can tear all apart once he's kind of eating snacks out of it.
Alright, let him eat. Look at him drinking. Look at that tail. 1-to-1 ratio of the body length. Take a breath.
No, look, no,
Like, I'm just gonna relax now. No more pizza boxes. Alright, that's it for our wildlife conservation trip with the Wounded Warrior Project.
Yay!
Yay. I got to see the fox. Yay.
Yay!
But didn't get to pet him.
Boo.
Boo. Alright, see you guys around.